friends, it's Becky from sustainableprepping.com, your home for fear-free emergency preparedness on the internet. And today I want to talk about 7 ways that you can prepare yourself for the inauguration and any possible fallout that comes. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad you found this slice of the internet. And if you are not new, welcome back. I'm glad that you are joining us once again for fear-free emergency preparedness. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. It lets me know that you like this kind of content, and to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of the content that I am putting out every single week. Today I'm doing a little bit of a bonus video. I wanted to get this out because I am convinced it's important for us to have an intentional plan for preparing for the inauguration. After the assault on the Capitol that happened back on January 6th, I am convinced that we're going to see some kind of coordinated effort to disrupt our daily life and to disrupt the inauguration of Joe Biden, the president-elect of the United States. Now, this is not a political channel, and I am 0% interested in your political viewpoints. Like, that's not what this is about. I have my opinions and you have yours. But what I do think we need to be considering is the fact that there is a display of ultra right-wing nationalists who don't believe that the election is valid, even though every single court that they've tried to overthrow the election in has said you have no evidence, have not been able to agree with him because there's no legitimate evidence. And so therefore, these folks who have been fed a constant diet of misinformation are angry, as you might be angry if you genuinely believe the election has been stolen, and so they are reacting with force. This is what we've seen when they attacked the Capitol. Now, I'm going to be doing an entire video on fanaticism and why I think it's actually a problem here in the United States, but suffice it to say that the far-fringed white nationalists in this country have been well documented since the 1990s and really even beforehand, and the FBI has been warning us of a domestic terrorism threat from white nationalists for decades. And because they are a group that has a background in planned paramilitary tactics, we should be prepared for a disruption to our daily goods and services on the inauguration and in the first 3 months following. So now that I've probably got you a little bit anxious, which is not my goal, I want to give you 7 ways that I suggest you prepare, and you can do so right now. You can take the weekend or these few days leading up to the inauguration and get yourself prepared for what is coming down the pike. The first thing you should do is to fill in any pantry gaps. Now, this is not to get a fully stocked prepper pantry. This is not to get an entire month of food storage. If you can do those things, great, but most of us can't do that all in one weekend and without a plan guiding us. And so what you should do is quickly go, spend your afternoon, spend your evening, spend your morning, whatever time you're watching this video, and look and see what can you fill in the gap with one run to the grocery store. Do you not have any dry rice? Add that. Are you down to only 1 box of cereal? Pick up 2 more. Do you need some dried powdered milk to make sure that you have milk in the event what's in your fridge gets used up and you can't get to the grocery store? Grab dried powdered milk. Whatever those little gap things are, you want to fill in those gaps. Now, ideally, you would have a stocked pantry that can get you through the next 30 days, because I think it is very likely we will see disruptions definitely in the first 30 days and up to 3 months out. I think we should be prepared for. But if you can, at the very least, right now, go and fill in the gaps. Go look in your pantry, go look in your fridge, go look in your freezer, do a quick inventory. This is not pull everything out and look at it. This is a quick inventory. Fill in those gaps, and don't forget to include comfort items that are going to help you weather 2, 3, 4 weeks in lockdown mode. This can be chocolate, this can be popcorn, this can be 7 boxes of Cheez-Its that you ration, you know. Now, this could also be alcohol. So if you're someone who does enjoy a glass of wine or a beer, you might want to have some extra stocked away just in case. Don't forget personal care items like soap and shampoo and conditioner, as well as feminine hygiene products and anything you might need for babies or small children. Just go ahead and fill in the gaps of your pantry so that you feel comfortable for at least 2 to 4 weeks at home. My second recommendation as we prepare for the inauguration is to charge everything. Have all of your gear charged. That includes cell phones and laptops and tablets, but also if you have backup battery chargers like portable cell phone battery chargers. A lot of people who travel will have battery banks that they take with them. If you have rechargeable batteries for flashlights, go ahead and just intentionally, in the days leading up to the inauguration, have all of those items charged. Now, I don't foresee any infrastructure problems. I don't foresee a long-term power outage. However, if there is a storm, if there are some power outages that come naturally, the ability for state, local, and national government to respond is going to be delayed if we are having any kind of civil unrest. So just go ahead, have everything charged, have it all charged up, so that in the event, especially over the next week or so, you are going to have backup battery cells to keep particularly your cell phone and laptop charged. Plus, if you have a tablet, maybe downloading a movie or two in the event that there's a power outage to keep your kids busy wouldn't be a bad idea. Number 3 is to grab some extra water. If you're going to a store anyway, definitely go ahead and add this. Add a couple of flats of individually bottled plastic bottles. I don't love those, but they're good to have on hand and they're useful. Or get a couple of jugs of water. Or, like my family, get a couple of the 5-gallon water cooler jugs and just go ahead and store them. I know that water can feel like a unsexy thing to store and to have, but trust me, again, if there is a breakdown in the infrastructure, I don't foresee it coming, but it could, particularly if there's a storm in your area. You want to make sure that you have plenty of water, both to drink and cook with, as well as for sanitation, and you might need some to flush a potty, so just be prepared and grab extra water. Number 4 is to refill your prescriptions. If you watched my video on preparing for the election, this is one that I really emphasized. Go ahead and refill a prescription, see if you can get permission to refill something early, or see if there's time for you to get a 2-month, 3-month prescription filled from your doctor between now and Thursday, between now and the inauguration. If there is a disruption to goods and services, pharmacies will very quickly run out of medication. And if you have a medication that you need or that makes your life much more comfortable, make sure that you have a full month supply. This may mean paying out of pocket for an extra 2 weeks in order to get 2 weeks ahead, but plan accordingly and definitely make sure that you have a refill on all of your major medications, even if it's a little early. See if you can go ahead and get that done. That way, in the event there's civil unrest, you're not having to go out into the fray to get your prescriptions filled. Number 5 is to go ahead and pack your go bag. Now, some of you are new to the emergency preparedness lifestyle, and so packing a go bag may be something you've been planning on doing. I know that our Sustainable Prepping Insiders group is going to be doing kits and bags later on this spring. I think it's our May topic, so we're not going to be covering it right now. Folks might be waiting, but even grabbing a reusable grocery bag, throwing a change of clothes in there, throwing some of your prescriptions in there, throwing some snacks and water bottles, a water filter if you have one, and a good pair of walking shoes, having all of that kind of just waiting for the next week or two is better than nothing. It's better to have something as a go bag than nothing, and you can do that in 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now, ideally, you would be thoughtfully putting together a go bag that meets all of your needs, and I do have a video down below that I'll link as you start thinking about what you need in your go bag. But if you don't have time for that, if you don't have the resources to invest in a good quality go bag and gear, something is better than nothing, and having that in place along with a plan of evacuation is going to be key in the event that your area is experiencing civil unrest. Number 6 is to top off your gas. If you have a car and you plan on using it in the event you need to leave town, I would suggest going ahead and topping it off, making sure that that tank comes home full every single night. Even if it means not paying the best price for gas, you want to keep it as close to full as possible so that in the event of civil unrest coming to your area and you needing to be able to get out of Dodge, you can go farther than those who are having to start with only half a tank or less. You are not going to have to fight for gas refills. You can get out of town more quickly and just basically get yourself out of the way while other people are having to use other gas. You're not having to compete for the same resources, which is good for everybody. Also, topping off your gas, it means that in the event that you need to use that gas to power a generator, let's say, you have a full tank of gas in your car that you can then siphon from if you need to. Now, let's hope it doesn't come to that, and let's hope we don't have any kind of long-term power outages, but having a full tank of gas can't hurt you. Number 7 is to have a plan in case of evacuation. Now, I will link the first of the 2 evacuation kit videos down below as well, but it's important that if it looks like civil unrest is coming to your area, particularly those of you who live in an urban environment, you need to pre-plan having an escape and evacuation route. So Figure out all the ways out of your city, your town, your area. What would happen if the major ways got blocked? Are there back roads that you can go ahead and identify? And then print out a map with those highlighted so you know in case your cell phone, right, in case cell towers go down, or there's too many people trying to log on to the same app to get out of the area, you're not relying on your cell phone. Have that plan in place. If you live in an environment where getting out by car is not going to be an option, have a foot traffic plan in place so that if you need to physically leave, you can. Now, this might not be something you need to worry about. I know I live rurally and the likelihood of me needing to physically leave my home is low, but we do have an evacuation plan in the event that it's not safe. Would you live on a main street? And we're very publicly situated, my particular home, and if there was a certain kind of demonstration happening, it might not be safe for us to stay. So we do have a plan in place in the event that we need to go and relocate. Have that plan in place, have that map printed, have a digital map. You can save them. Sometimes I think Google Maps allows you to save digital, download a digital map, so even if you can't get to your GPS, you have the map downloaded. Take those precautions now. Now, I don't think that you need to worry a lot, but I do think it's better to be cautious. What we saw on January 6th worried me, and it worried me because I know that there are very well-trained and organized fringe groups that believe, because they've been fed a diet of misinformation, that this election, the election of Joe Biden, isn't true and it isn't valid. And they, in their minds, are patriots overthrowing a tyrannical government. When someone becomes a fanatic, you can't reason with them. And logic, compassion, those things are gone when you are a true believer. I'm gonna do a whole video on this. So in order to prepare for the worst case scenario, those are 7 ways that you can do so. But there is a final 8th bonus tip because it's sustainable prepping and I always like to over deliver, and that is to keep calm and move the needle. Being freaked out and worrying and panicking doesn't solve any problems. It doesn't. It just wastes your precious brain space. And I know as a mom of 4, I don't have time to waste my brain space. I need to be calm. I need to have my preps in order and have a plan in place. And so my recommendation is that this week, over the next couple of weeks, if there is a lockdown, if there isn't, make a plan of very specific action items that you are going to take, actionable steps that you're going to take to continue to expand your concentric circles of preparedness from, having water in the house, having food in the house, having lighting, having heating, having all these different things that build on one another. Make 1 or 2 actionable steps that you're going to take and plan to move that needle forward. Don't worry about the big picture stuff if it freaks you out. Being freaked out doesn't help you. Knowing all those details honestly isn't gonna help you. What's gonna help you is every day moving that needle forward. Every day taking a step towards a better and more secure future. When you have a plan, when you have your preparations in place, you can be calm and confident no matter the crisis. You can look at the risk of civil unrest and say, we're safe at home. My friends, I hope that you are all well. I am not making this video to make anyone frightened. I want to be realistic as we look at the very likely possibility that we're going to see widespread civil unrest in the event of this inauguration. Now, my hope is that it's easily quelled and that it is isolated, but I have a feeling it's not going to be, and I have a feeling that for at least the next 30 days, but up to the next 3 months, I think we're going to see several different groups that are going to push back against this inauguration, and that we should be prepared for it. And the more prepared we are, it means that any emergency resources that are needed can go to our community members that don't have the resources to prepare in advance. And that is a gift to them too. I hope that you are all well. I am going to have a bunch of links down in the description of videos of our Sustainable Insiders group, which I invite you all to join. It's a wonderful group full of encouragement and full of other women that are moving the needle forward on their emergency preparedness, and you are welcome to come and be a part of that. I think it's a great community. And I'm going to have a link to our emergency preparedness planning guide. If you haven't already gotten it, I'm going to have that link down below. It is such a useful tool to help you think about what it is that you are actually planning for and make that plan and find those actionable items so that you can move that needle forward every single week. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel, and I will see you all very soon. Bye.